and welcome back to the channel. I am really excited about the video that we're posting today. This is probably my favorite build that I have ever done. As far as habitats, as far as buildings, as far as anything, I really love how this building turns out, and I am absolutely stoked that you are here to be a part of the experience. This is a habitat slash souvenir shop that that we're building in what was going to be a collaboration zoo between myself and another YouTuber, but the collaboration is actually going to be put on a temporary pause. In building, there's a very different building style that both he and I have. They're very contrasting, and just want to back up and really sort of explore a way that we can do things that really complements each other. The engagement on what we've done so far really hasn't been to the level that I really think it should be, and I think a portion of it at least is contributed to the varying styles that we build in. So we're going to step away from the collaboration for just a minute, but I thought it would really, just for myself, would be unfair to deny anyone the fun that I had with this. You may watch this and you may hate it, but the enjoyment I got out of this build was why I played the game. It was something that I sort of had an idea for, just an image that I saw on Google, and I thought, well, hey, I want to make that, and I felt like I did. I used enough of the original that you can sort of see what it was inspired by, but then added enough of my own to make it mine. And I really love when when you try to sit down and really make that happen. So what we're going to build, honestly, the inspiration of it, I don't know the name of the building. I was just Googling random things, random buildings, and I just happened to see this sort of style in, or this design, this architecture in one of the random searches that I did, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And I vaguely remember it, sort of what it looked like, but when I went back to actually find the image, I couldn't. I don't know what phrases I actually used to Google it. So if you see this and you recognize it, this is probably not something that is unique. I'm sure this is something that has been built before in Planet Zoo. So if this is something that you recognize and you know what the building is, if you would drop a comment and just let me know, I would love to sort of edit the description of this and give credit to the actual building itself, because like I said, for the most part, the shell of this is not something that I created on my own. So if you know it, let me know. But anyways, to the actual build, we use these not twilight, what's the word I'm looking for? Stained. They're not even the same thing. Stained wood planks, or stained wood walls to sort of do the outside edge, and then we're putting these Australian wood pieces in, very just sort of a rustic, weathered look. And the colors, I think, work well together. And then little things matter, guys. You saw me put the brackets in, the sign brackets in as plates. And now this is one of my favorite little tricks to do, is using these individual light bulbs, and I turn the power off to them, and then I just pull the base of the bulb out of whatever item I'm trying to use it for. And when you're done, it makes it look exactly like little bolts that are sticking through. It works really good. The base of these light bulbs is shaped sort of like a hexagon, so it looks like a bolt anyways. The one thing you do have to do, though, is remember to turn those lights off and not to automatic, because I did this once on a very large building that I did in console, and I had bolts all over it. But then when I turned the zoo to nighttime, I had all sorts of glowing wood pieces all over the place, and it looked ridiculous. So if you use that, make sure that you turn off the light of the first bulb that you place, and then just duplicate it from there, and you should be fine. But those little details matter. Sitting back looking at it, you might not actually notice the bolts, but when you see it side by side with the little bolts and without, it's special details like that add just a flare of realism and bring a touch of uniqueness to the build, and I think it really complements the overall design. Again, here I'm using these solar panel lights. I like to flip these upside down, and they're small and they're round, and it looks like a small bracket. Again, remember to turn off the light. But I'm going to run a cable out of these, and it's very easy to just take these cables and you can just put them in the wood and come through. But in real life, you don't have that, right? If you were in a real zoo or looking at a real building or a real fence or anything that a cable were connected to, it would have some sort of bracket that it would go into. So that's what I've done here with the little conservation path light. I think it's a solar light or whatever it is. You just drop it in, you recolor it, and it gives it the look of a bracket that this cable is actually connecting to. It's little things like that that make a difference. This is when the frustration, though, for this build started. There were, I think I may have mentioned, there were a few things in this build that drove me up the wall. And one of them is trying to duplicate multiple pieces. I don't know why. Sometimes, like if I were to select one of these pieces, it would just slide exactly on the same axis. But if I select multiple pieces and try to slide on the same axis, it throws it off just a little bit, and then everything pulls out of line, and you've got to pull it all back in and try to slide it and line it, and it becomes just a freaking headache. And it happens over and over and over on this build. And I've noticed it with a building like this. You'll see in a minute the front of this of the facade on the front of the building is curved, and it was very, very difficult to get things to line up just the way I wanted them to. So I ended up having to do a lot of individually moving pieces instead of being able to just duplicate across like entire set pieces. So that had me frustrated. And then here in a moment, roughly the 8-minute mark, we're just a minute or so away from it. When I start trying to build the exterior cage, this is something that I fought for a long time, and a lot of it was trying to get pieces to line up. But it is having patience in those moments that really it makes the difference. It's very easy to just say, I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to run this top piece across right here. But then I feel like, you know what, it takes away from it. You end up getting less, right? And I think it's important that when you have a vision or a goal or a dream for what you want your build to be, and not just in this game, for anything, it is not always going to work the way you want it to. There are going to be hurdles. There are going to be unexpected things that come up. And persevering through that, I know this is a video game, and in the grand scheme of all of life, it probably doesn't matter a whole heck of a lot. But still, persevering through and pushing through the annoyances and the heartaches and the headaches and the frustrations will get you to the place where you want to be. And I can honestly say that despite all of the frustrations that I spent in dealing with a lot of the annoying controls and things with this, dealing with that and pushing through that and having the patience to get through on the other side without throwing my computer out into a lake, I ended up with a result that I was really, really happy with, and I was really, really proud of. And I think that's the goal, right? Let's build something that you enjoy. It's fun for me to post these things on YouTube, and it's fun for me to kind of sort of bring you guys along on the journey that I am on. But at the end of the day, if I'm not happy with what I'm building, it's all sort of a waste of time, right? So I'm now building the cage, and what you're looking at is nowhere close to what the finished product actually is. You actually don't see me build the finished product because truthfully I got so frustrated that I just stopped recording because I felt like I was wasting film. And so this changes a bit. The design for the most part stays the exact same as far as the layout, but the cosmetics of it changed. So that's why I didn't really concern myself with re-recording. The process was the exact same. I just end up going back through and using different pieces to make that vision sort of come true. I don't use the lighter stained woods. I go with the darker, and I use sort of the what is the name of it? It's the dark stone. Can't think of it. I think it's the dry rustic stone or something like that. But if I had just stopped, if I had just quit, I would have been much less satisfied with the end build. And I would have been done, and I would have had a video, and I would have had something to share, but it would not have brought me the same satisfaction. So have patience with not only this game, but have the patience in whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is in life that you are working towards, whatever goal that you have the patience to push through the tough times, push through the difficult moments, because once you get through that, once you've weathered that storm, and once you are on the other side of it, you will look back and be so much more proud of yourself. You will be able to look back and say, I did this, and I worked through this, and I'm proud of myself. And it will do more for your self-worth and your self-value than anything else will. And yeah, you can stop and you can say this game's frustrating or this situation is frustrating, and you know you can be just as satisfied, I suppose, but you'll never know what you missed out on. So, all right, psychology lesson aside, this one, I'm telling you, this part of this build made me want to scream and cuss and throw things and bang things, and I didn't do any of it. I took a breath. I ate lunch. I felt much better. And I came back and I finished this. So I'm going to let you guys sort of enjoy, hopefully, what you're seeing here. We're going to get through this build. I'm very proud of it. I'm going to jump back in at the end, and we will sort of discuss the final look. I'll give you guys a couple of little fun facts, some tidbits, things like that. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. I really do. I'm excited about it, and I will be back in just a minute. All right, guys, and we are back. We're still just a little bit away from finishing up this build, but I wanted to jump back in and just sort of say, hey, I hope you guys like it. You've probably noticed that I've sort of skipped around a little bit. I just feel like there's some detail work that is so monotonous that you guys just really don't care to watch it. There's probably, honestly, a lot of this video that you that you thought I did not want to watch all of that, but it's picking and choosing. But there's a lot of detail work that I don't do on camera. I add obviously the roof to the building. Did that last. Did some, and then all of the landscaping that you're going to see here in a moment in the closing cinematics. I did all of that off of camera because, how many times can you guys watch somebody just place a bush, So none of that's included, but I am going to upload this building to the workshop. It will be the first, I think it's the first creation that I'm actually going to put on the workshop. So sometime within 24 hours or so of this video being posted, this building will actually be on the workshop. And I know I mentioned earlier that the collaboration zoo portion of this is sort of not going to happen right now. I am going to take this building and I am going to place it in Havenwood Zoo. If you have not been following the Havenwood Zoo series, I'm going to link that down in the description of this video. Please go check those videos out. That is the first PC zoo that we started on the channel. We are several videos into that. So I'm not going to do, obviously, a separate build video for that particular zoo, but you will be able to see this in that zoo. And then when that zoo is uploaded to the workshop, you will be able to pull this building apart and break it all into a million pieces if you want to. But again, I'm really happy with how this turned out. There was a lot of frustration with it, but it ended, again, I've said this already, I feel like I'm sort of a parrot here. God, don't you wish we had parrots in the game? Or any sort of small flying birds. Alas, we dream. What's the movie? Is it The Greatest Showman? I dream a dream, something like that. I'm not going to sing it for you guys. I'm going to spare you that. But it would be great to have birds. But my gosh, how did I even start talking about that? I feel like I'm a parrot because I'm repeating myself over and over. But I really enjoyed this build, and I hope you guys did too. The Galapagos tortoise is just a solid build. I don't know why, but I like it better than the Aldabra. How do you say that? I don't know how to say it. English is not my first language, apparently. I don't know any other languages, but I definitely can't speak this one. So I don't know what it's actually called, but the Galapagos tortoise is the superior tortoise. So, if you want to fight on that, we can. Also, Michelangelo is the best Ninja Turtle. Any other opinion is wrong. I don't know what to tell you. It's just the truth. Suddenly, I'm craving pizza. Anyways, guys, I'm going to duck out of here. I did want to leave you with a clever joke that my son actually told me about tortoises. I'll leave you with it. I'm going to duck out. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. If you did, give it if any subscription, like, comment. I know it takes very little time on your part. It really helps me and the algorithm and the engagement and all the analytics in the background. That's a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. If you liked it, any sort of engagement you can give my video helps somebody else out there maybe see the video and maybe it helps them. I don't know. But if you don't want to, I don't blame you because it's aggravating. And I'm just glad that you hung around, you heard me say this, you watched the video, and hopefully you had a good time. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll leave you with this. Why do turtles not wear scarves? Because they wear turtlenecks. Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. All right, bye guys.